plug placement as well. They've got a third man in place.
Indeed, there's a third man, a cover sweeper, and that man down the ground, as well as a very square mid-wicket. A quick single taken beats the point fielder, so they'll get through nicely. So Erasmus content to just build a partnership. Excellent running here. Bit of a half appeal from Vriitya, but I think they've made it in time. 100 up for them, Nambia.
Yes, 100 up in just 12.2 overs. In fact, 12.3 now with that single. Nicely done there, just guiding it. Well, it looks as if Namibia has been playing in the UAE for almost 6 months now. The way they are handling themselves, the way they have approached this innings, looks like a very settled unit, Namibia.
Lofted shot down the ground, and it's going towards the long on fielder who gets around. So Erasmus has kicked into groove very nicely here. He's accelerating.
Yes, just making sure that he gets runs on every delivery. That shot was a checked shot. He knew that the mid-wicket fielder was inside the circle, and all he had to do was clear that infield. He did that pretty nicely and got 2 runs for that.
Ahmed Raza making some late changes. He's pushed the third man back. He was in the circle earlier. We've seen the Namibians play that ramp shot and that reverse paddle very effectively. And the wicketkeeper Vriitya, he'll be a key player for UAE here. Slower ball worked away towards square leg. They're pushing for 2. And that is brilliant running. Brilliant running here from Namibia.
Oh yes, absolutely. 100 marks, full marks for that running between the wickets, putting pressure on the fielder, Sultan Ahmed. They ran the first run hard. And when you do that, you always have a chance for a second. And they've done that very, very nicely. 106 for 2. So if they're not able to get boundaries, they are making sure that they run hard between the wickets, convert those singles into doubles. This is good cricket overall from Namibia.
Finally a dot ball there. 8 runs off the over without taking much risk. 13 overs gone. Namibia are 106 for 2.
Yes, 106 for 2 Namibia after 13. That's the scorecard for Namibia. A good knock from Craig Williams. 57 of 37 deliveries. Stephan Baard is still out there. 38 of 32. And the skipper joins him. 7 of 5. 3 extras, so the bowling has been tight, but the credit has to be given to Namibia. It's not as if UAE has bowled a lot of poor deliveries, a lot of loose deliveries. They've just batted really well.
Indeed, full credit to the Blue Eagles. They've come out prepared with a game plan.
They've batted really well.
Their batsmen have looked organized. They know their strengths and weaknesses. The Blue Eagles. They've come out prepared with a game plan. Interesting bowling change here. It's the opening batter, more known for his dashing stroke play. His strengths and weaknesses. Mohammad was come out prepared with a game plan. Bowling change here.
And I think
it's the opening batter, more known for his dashing stroke play. His strengths and weaknesses. Mohammad was come out prepared with a game plan. Bowling change here. It's the opening batter, more known for his dashing stroke play. His strengths and weaknesses. Mohammad was come out prepared with a game plan. Bowling change here. It's the opening batter, more known for his dashing stroke play. His strengths and weaknesses. Mohammad was come out prepared with a game plan. That would have been for Mohammad Wasim. Opening batter, known for his keeper stroke play. His strengths and weaknesses. Mohammad was come out prepared. Keeper gave start. That would have been for Mohammad Wasim. Opening batter, known for his keeper stroke play. His strengths and weaknesses. Mohammad Wasim kept his eye on the ball, but just out of his reach.
Yes, good ball there. Did not anticipate that he would be bowling so quick. Mohammad Wasim looks like a decent bowler. Did not expect the ball to come on to him. And that's why miscuing that shot towards that vacant square leg region. This is good bowling. He's mixed it up. First ball was on the good length. This one is a Yorker, so he knows what he is doing, has his plans, and he's executing them well, pretty well.
This time smack down the ground. The long on fielder and long off will clean up. So The only thing he can't do here is pitch the ball short, because that's asking to be hit. If you bowl it within the batsman's range, if they beat that long on fielder for 6 or 4, that's well done by them. Otherwise, you're creating an opportunity.
Yes, bowling really well. Good bowling so far from Mohammad Wasim. He's given away 2 in his 3 deliveries. And he's mixing it up really nicely. That's the key. This time he just does not decide to bowl. Slipped out of his hands. But he saw that batsman coming and trying to play a scoop again, and just at the last moment pulled himself out of the bowling run-up.
Indeed, that's excellent thinking from his side. If the batsman is premeditating, there's no need for you to bowl the delivery. This time once again flipped away straight to the fine leg fielder. Mohammad Wasim has a wicket on debut. Well bowled.
Yes, this is absolutely brilliant bowling. He knew that he's going to go for a lap shot, and that's why bowled a slower delivery. Did not time it too well there, Baard, and he's found the fielder at fine leg. Good bowling, good smart cricket coming in from Mohammad Wasim. A simple catch taken by Kashif Daud, and that's wicket number 3 for Namibia. Stephan Baard walks back, 39 of 34.
Played a very responsible innings. They lost an early wicket. Zane Green was caught in the second over at square leg, so he had to hunker down, anchor the innings, and he did that really well with Craig Williams. And quite unlucky to be caught there, to be honest. And here comes a very, very important player, a key player in the middle order, Mr. David Wiese. Fantastic T20 cricketer, has played franchise cricket all over the world, and this is the ideal situation for him to come in and tonk some mighty blows. He, of course, represented South Africa in the 2016 World T20, and that career does not, that strike rate does not do justice to his ability. A very, very dangerous player to come in this situation. And UAE need to get him out ASAP if they are to keep Namibia to a low score.
Yes, you're right. We know how dangerous Wiese is. He's played T20 cricket all around the world, different T20 formats. And an experienced campaigner playing for Namibia in this World Cup as well. So yes, he is a key member of the Namibian side, and you're right about UAE trying to get his wicket as soon as possible. They would want to see his back. That number 37, 27 on his jersey. That's what they want to see. Him walking back to the pavilion.
Nicely punched straight to the cover fielder. Very, very active there. That's good stuff. Good aggressive fielding there from UAE. Their tails are up.
Oh yes, the momentum has definitely shifted towards UAE a little bit, and they would feel that they have an opening here. They have a chance because 2 set players, batsmen for Namibia, are back in the hut, and they have 2 new players right there in the middle. So Mohammad Wasim has created an opportunity, got them a wicket, got them back in the game. 14 overs gone with that single. The score slowing down a little bit for Namibia. It's 109 for 3.
Well, you know what they say, Shoaib. The best way to stem the scoring is to pick up wickets. And they've done exactly that. Let's take a look at the bowling analysis for the UAE so far. Sultan Ahmed, 3 overs, none for 24. Bowled the majority of his overs in the batting power play. Kashif Daud, 1 for 16 in his 3, has been excellent on T20I debut. Zahoor Khan, disappointing, got a wicket to his name, but that economy rate of 10 RPO, he'd be very disappointed with that. Rohan Mustafa also got hammered. The captain Ahmed Raza, 3 overs, none for 24 as well. So we need another 6 overs. He has plenty of options, and he's brought on himself. A brave move by the captain.
Yes, indeed, a brave move. The medium pacers were really effective. They've managed to stem the flow of runs here for Namibia. And now it's the skipper who's brought himself in, believing that he can take a wicket here. David Wise. Oh, there should have been a slip. That ball has gone in the slip cordon and will race away towards the fence. A lucky boundary there for Wiese. A nice ball there, but unlucky, I would say, Ahmed Raza.
Well, Shiv, to be honest, it was a bit too short, a bit too wide. And when you're a short third man in the circle, you're asking to be punished. David Wiese swung that mighty willow of his, got an edge to it, and it ran away for 4 on this greasy outfield. Punched through extra cover this time. Good fielding there, got a hand to it, but they'll scurry through for a single.
Stepping down this time, Erasmus, and playing it towards long on, checking his shot at the last moment. Sensible batting.
He seems to be a very busy batter, likes to move his feet, likes to get to the pitch of the ball, a la Kevin Peterson, who loved to walk down and smack the ball through mid-on and mid-wicket. This time worked away into the gap. So sensible batting here from David Wiese and Merv Erasmus.
Yes, this is really good batting there. Keeping themselves busy. And we haven't seen a big shot yet from Wiese. Another single there for Namibia. 116 for 3. In fact, 117 with that single. A pretty expensive over coming in from Raza. 8 runs already. But he's bowled some really tight lines. Good running between the wickets again. Straight into the hands of the fielder, but still take a run. This is good cricket from Namibia. 15 overs gone. And Namibia are 118 for 3.
Right then, with that, there'll be a change in the comm box. Shoaib Ahmed will step out and Abdur Rahman will join me for the final 5 overs. So Merv Erasmus, 10 of 9. David Wiese out there as well. Ideal platform for him to get his eyes set, get used to the playing conditions, and then go hell for leather. Abdur Rahman, you've joined me right at the stage for a very exciting finish for the Blue Eagles.
Exciting indeed. We all know how dangerous David Wiese can be. There's another batsman, Frylinck, who's very aggressive as well for Namibia. He's played some interesting knocks in the qualifiers.
Hard cut this time towards the cover sweeper, who will clean up. And you can see, oh, they're pushing for 2. Chance for a run out. Vriitya Arvind. Perhaps the bounce of the ball got a big on him and couldn't execute that run out. That's excellent running.
Vriitya's had a tough day behind the stumps. Missed a stumping. The bowling of Ahmed Raza and this one as well. It was very close. Very good throw right over the stumps. Vriitya was unable to gather it. But an interesting bowling change by Ahmed Raza, bringing in Wasim. And he's made an instant impact.
He certainly has. This time nicely punched down the ground. Solid shot, and mid-off was in the circle. But David Wiese is absolutely clattering that ball, Abdur Rahman. Danger signs for UAE.
They want to get him out the next over or 2 maximum. If he plays out the next 5 overs, that score is going to go very close to that 180 mark, if not more.
Hard cut over the top of extra cover this time from the captain of Namibia. That has screamed away for 4.
A poor delivery. The long mid-off and cover fielders are both in the circle. So that was a free shot for Merv. He's placed that very well.
Really don't understand the thinking behind that delivery. You've bowled it very short and very wide. That's basically a free hit from Mohammad Wasim. You can see why he's not a regular bowler. And now the counter-attack is on. 14 of 10 is the captain of Namibia. Down the leg side this time, given as a wide. Vriitya Arvind clung on to that. That could have gone absolutely anywhere. But Mohammad Wasim, he's losing his lines here.
Yeah, well, 1 over too many from Wasim. He had gotten that wicket. And I think Ahmed Raza should have gone to his premier bowler, somebody like Zahoor or Kashif Daud. He's already conceded 7 runs in this over. 8, I beg your pardon. Still 3 more deliveries to go.
This time over mid-wicket and towards the fielder, though he's cleaned up well. Good hard throw, but once again those big square outfields, they've scurried through for 2. Excellent running.
Yes, the running between the wickets has been really good for Namibia. David Wiese and Merv running really quick, and it was Wiese's call. The throw came to the bowler's end. Merv responding. So again, 10 runs off the over so far. 2 more deliveries to go, and that score is moving up very quickly.
This time nicely cut away, straight to the point fielder. Bit of a misfield, but they will scurry through for a single. So they've gotten the boundary. They've rotated the strike really well. And you can see the UAE are wilting under the pressure a bit here. They need to hold their nerve.
Well, the power play and then the last 5 overs are usually where the game is settled. Namibia did have a very good power play. And they've started the last 5 overs really well.
Bowled him through the gate. They've picked up a wicket here, UAE, just when they needed it. It's that man, Mohammad Wasim, getting it right. David Wiese has to depart.
Well, 11 runs were conceded in the over, but the captain will take that wicket and 11 runs any day. David Wiese, big wicket there. I think the ball kept just a little bit low. Wiese played all over it. Let's have a look at that replay. Yes, ball cut in a lot. He was not expecting that to happen. So Wasim has repaid the faith. Gotten the big wicket of David Wiese. 129 for 4 now in Namibia. The last 4 overs to come.
Really such a massive wicket to take at this stage. This man is so destructive. And Mohammad Wasim, we felt he might have bowled 1 over too many, but he's produced a huge wicket here. And now the UAE can perhaps turn the screws. Merv Erasmus, the captain of Namibia, now the burden is on him to control this innings, to manage it right till the end. But look at that, just ducked in, perhaps beaten in the length as well, was camping on the back foot. That's an absolute beauty. Mohammad Wasim will like to have that in his locker later on.
The new batsman in is Smit. Would have liked to see Frylinck come in. As I was saying, he's been playing some interesting knocks. Very aggressive batsman, and at this stage with 4 overs to go, would have been good to see as we have a look at Alishan Sharfu, who is not playing today. Dynamic 18-year-old all-rounder for the UAE.
Indeed, Johannes Smit coming in at 6. Frylinck is right behind him. So I'm quite sure my co-commentator will get his wish eventually. Of course, we are live from the ICC Academy ground here in the Dubai. This is the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. Rohan Mustafa coming in into the attack. Do you agree with?
In the 19th over, Namibia has been batting, especially against the spinners, playing those ramp shots and those scoop. If he goes for 10-12 runs, the momentum will shift towards Namibia.
As you can see, short third man and fine leg in the circle, so that paddle shot is definitely on. Rohan Mustafa will have to be absolutely spot on with his lines. Cannot give any width. Down the leg side this time, punched nicely away to mid-wicket. They're pushing for 2, but they'll stick to 1. Good call.
Well, Rohan Mustafa is actually one of the best Yorker bowlers in the UAE. He's spot on when it comes to bowling that Yorker, and that's what you need this stage. That strike rate, 162. No wonder he's come on after David Wiese. 18 sixes in 13 matches.
Indeed, and only age 25, so he has a very big future ahead of him. Let's see how he can perform today.
Nice one, eh?
Oh, nice Yorker there, as Abdurrahman described, right in the block hold.
And again, good field placing as well. They've brought in that short mid-wicket. Make sure they keep the new batsman on strike as long as possible. Good captaincy from Ahmed Raza.
Big full toss, just bunted down the ground. So Johannes will get off the mark safely. That's, of course, a very good feeling. You never want to be on that dreaded knot.
Yes, but this has been a good over so far by Rohan. Just 2 runs so far in the 3 deliveries.
The captain nicely paddled away this time. Desperate fielding effort there. That is excellent work there. Saved a certain boundary and kept them to 2. Top work.
Sultan Ahmed on the boundary. That was to his wrong side. He's a left-hander. So you had to turn around and collect that delivery and then throw it. But in the end, brilliant fielding. And that's what they need, UAE. They need to show this in the field to keep the score down. Absolutely brilliant by Sultan Ahmed. Just the 2 runs.
Once again, that paddle round the corner. This time Sultan will have to work hard once again. And he does absolutely brilliantly. Another 2 though. Erasmus, the captain of Namibia, knows he's going to bowl it full. So he's ready with that flip shot. Excellent execution and excellent strategy here from the Namibians.
Yes, they're using the pace. They were doing that against Sultan and Rohan Mustafa in the power play. They're doing it again now. It's very tiring, but eventually they've gotten 6 runs in this over so far. And a reverse sweep that goes to the boundary. So an expensive over, 10 runs coming off it. And Namibia is on the charge.
This is absolutely brilliant batting here from Erasmus. Those 2 flip shots, push for 2. He knew he was going to bowl full once again, and this time the reverse paddle over the top of short third man. He's raced on to 26 of 16. 139 for 4, the Namibians. The Blue Eagles are soaring. 3 overs remaining. Surely that 160-165 score is on.
Yes, and if they keep batting like that, last 3 overs, if they can get 30 runs, 170 mark, very good total to defend.
Johannes Smit, career strike rate of 162. Erasmus batting beautifully here. The captain taking the responsibility. I've been extremely impressed with the Namibian outfit here. They look very professional, very organized. Their batting strategies, their matchups, all look very crystal clear in their mind. Their execution has been brilliant. And honestly, I feel the UAE team has been caught off guard on the back foot. And they've been almost out of the game. Just those few wickets here and there have kept them in it. So they'll need to replicate the execution that the Namibian batters have shown here this morning.
Yes, the short play has been absolutely brilliant from Namibia. Playing behind the wicket, those ramp shots, and then any loose delivery. They've played the traditional cover drives, the lofted drives over long off and long on. So coming into bowl now.
That slower bouncer flipped away towards deep mid wicket. They'll stick to 1 this time. Good aggressive fielding. So he'll have to bowl out here. Already gone for 21 runs. But he can make amends if he bowls 2 good overs here at the death. 140 for 4. We're in the 18th over. That man on screen, Erasmus, the captain of Namibia, has been very, very good. When they needed him to accelerate, he played the big shots. When he needed to hunker down, he just rotated the strike with David Wiese. That shows the mark of a mature and complete batter. Very, very impressive. Zahoor Khan at the top of his mark. He'll be thinking, how do I get this man out? Top of his mark. He'll be thinking, how do I get this man out? This man out.
That's a good delivery there by Zahoor Khan. Usman.
.22 off his 2.2 overs.
He's played an absolutely beautiful shot. no chance for Ali Shan at square leg to stop that ball from going over the fence. Going over the fence. 3 deliveries already.
But when he tries to bowl it at full pace, the batters enjoy that. The ball is sitting in on the pitch. Two and a half overs remaining. Johannes Smit has gotten a boundary as well. Boundary away as well. He punched through extra cover this time. They're pushing for 2, but they'll just...
And again, we have a look at that intelligent batting. They've gotten the boundary. The next delivery, a good one. They just take a single. So Nambia has got a very clear plan on how they want to approach the score when they're batting. First, Ahmed 46 for 4 in the 17.4 overs. Nambia will be
already taken 7 runs off the over. Oh, trying to paddle it, but might have time. Zahoor got the better of him.
Very well bowled. Slightly slower. There was no timing behind that shot. Even on the ramp shot or the scoop shot, you need to get that timing absolutely spot on as a batsman. And we're very lucky the ball didn't ricochet off the bat and just hit his helmet. Off the off the bat and just hit his helmet. Rohan of Erasmus, 2017 deliveries, hit 2 boundaries, and Nambia 146 for 5 in the 18th over.
Top stuff there from Zahoor Khan. Excellent response. That's the mark of a true fast bowler, nailing those Yorkers at the death. However, Erasmus had been fidgeting around in his crease, and he had absolutely no reply to that one, hitting the base of middle stump. Very, very good execution. And as my co-commentator Abdur Rahman has been demanding, Jan Frylinck has come into bat. He's a hard hitter of the ball. That strike rate does not do him justice. And now left-hand, right-hand combination will create further problems for that man on screen, Rohan Mustafa. Let's see if he can execute. Needs to be absolutely spot on with his length. Anything that is in the slot is going to disappear.
Rohan Mustafa continuing, bowling the 19th over. He went for 10 the last over that he bowled. With Smit and Frylinck on strike. This is a big gamble by Ahmed Raza.
This time slammed over the top of long off. All the way for 6. Johannes Smit is unleashing and cutting loose in style.
We'll have to question why Rohan Mustafa is bowling at this stage. They still have Kashif, Daud, Sultan has an over as well. That was a brilliant shot there. Over long off. Extra cover for 6. So the first ball has gone for 6 on the 19th over. 150 has come up as well. So if they've broken through that par score you were talking about, Ahmed, 150 is already on the board. Still 11 deliveries to go.
Better length this time. Rightly nailed in the block hold. As you can see, the margin of error with Johannes Smit is oh so minuscule. This time powered down the ground once again towards long off. But it's going to bounce in front of him. Ahmed Raza Gets the throw in quickly. Good fielding.
He didn't get any timing on that. Smit. 7 runs of the first 3 deliveries of the 19th over.
153 on the board already. I think did spot Kashif Daud heading into the dugout. He might be feeling a bit unwell, so that's why he's not bowling his 4th. Worrying signs for UAE. Oh, he's tried to paddle that immediately, but missed the full toss. And they'll scurry through for a single.
Well, again, trying to use the pace of Rohan Mustafa. He's a spinner, but he bowls really quickly. And he bowls full, and that's what they're targeting. So they do have their plans against the bowlers. 8 runs have come off the first 4 deliveries of this over.
Big full toss, powered down the ground towards long off. And he'll take it. Very well done by the captain of UAE, Ahmed Raza. Rohan Mustafa has the wicket of Johannes Smit.
Brilliant catch there by Ahmed Raza. You have to credit the fielder for this wicket more than the bowler. That was a full toss delivery. He could have put it anywhere, outside, off stump. And the ball was swirling away, and Ahmed Raza had to cover a lot of ground. Those big buckets of hands. Ball nestles in them. So 8 runs have come of the over so far, but Rohan Mustafa has picked up the wicket of Johannes Smit. 14 runs scored, 9 deliveries faced. 154 for 6 Namibia. 1 ball to go in the 19th over.
I think all being said and done, UAE will be fairly satisfied with the way they bowled at the death. Zahoor and Rohan have done a pretty decent job. He has 1 more delivery to negotiate. They bowled at the death. Zahoor and Rohan have done a pretty decent job. He has 1 more delivery to negotiate. It's excellent pickup and fielding, but they will pick up 2. So a good over from Rohan.
Yes, very good fielding as well. He had a lot of ground to cover, Chirag. Keeps him down to 2. So 156 for 6. The last over coming up. What do you think, Ahmed? What would be the score that Namibia want to finish this innings on?
I think they definitely like another 14 runs, get above that 170 mark. And anything below that, I think UAE will just have to make a fist of it. Perhaps try to keep them to around 160, 165. You can see 15 boundaries and 3 sixes in their innings. So they've been very efficient. That's pretty much a boundary every over. Kept that consistent pressure on the UAE. And now we're in for a big run chase in the afternoon.
There were a lot of 2s and 3s as well. Some good fielding, good outfielding by Sultan, keeping them down. Saving a couple. Good fielding, good outfielding by Sultan, keeping them down. Saving a lot of 2s and 3s as well. Some good fielding, good outfielding by Sultan, keeping them down.
Has 1 over remaining, 5 deliveries. He needs to execute here for Ahmed Raza.
I think Ahmed might have missed a trick bowling Zahoor in the power play and getting those 1 or 2 overs out of the way. If we have a look at the wickets to fall, Zahoor Khan taking the wicket of Craig Williams, crucial wicket, then Wasim coming into bowl, getting the wicket of David Wiese as well. Big wicket there for UAE. Zahoor Khan nailing that Yorker, magnificent delivery. The last wicket to fall was Smit, caught by Ahmed Raza, bowled Rohan Mustafa. So UAE has been chipping at that batting lineup.
This time powered down the ground, but excellent fielding of his own bowling. Zahoor Khan, absolutely magnificent.
Yes, and this is what he does really well in the death. I think he likes bowling with the slightly older ball, softer the ball. When he bowls with the newer ball, the hard ball, he goes for a few runs. With the old ball, he nails that Yorker really well. It's a good over so far by Zahoor Khan. Just that 1 run coming off it.
4 deliveries remaining. Zahoor Khan has started out his final over really well. Once again, that Yorker, big appeal. But they're going to scurry through for a single, pushing for 2, but they'll just stick to 1. Good call there. Good keeping by Vriitya as well.
Well, the umpire has given it his leg buys.
Hello. For all watching the stream, can you please subscribe to channel?
Again, just 1 run, and Zahoor Khan and the UAE team will take that any day in the last over.
Absolutely, this over has been absolute gold dust for Ahmed Raza here. Zahoor Khan has been hitting that block hole Yorker length really well. Ruben Trumpelmann, he's a big unit. If he gets one even near the middle of the blade, it's going to fly. But can Zahoor outsmart him? That is the real question. 2 for 28. He's had a pretty decent day. Slower delivery, swung away towards mid-wicket this time. And he's taken it. That's an excellent catch. Zahoor has a 3-for.
Well, again, good fielding there by Rohan Mustafa. He's covered a lot of ground. That short ball, that slower, shorter delivery, gets no timing on it, Ruben. And again, a big wicket there. In the context of the game, the fact that it's a dot ball is more important. Short delivery. Just sits up. You can't do anything about it. You know it's coming. You have no idea where to place it. This time he's placed it right in the hands of Rohan Mustafa.
The fielding effort by the UAE has been top-notch. Ruben Trumpelmann couldn't get going. 1 off 2. Caught at deep mid-wicket. And that's a good delivery to bowl to the tail-enders. When you bowl it short, they can't resist. And he had to pay the ultimate price.
Yeah, that's the kind of delivery. Not a lot of places you can position it. You can either go across the line and play it towards the mid-wicket square-leg region, which he had done and failed. You can't go over third man or over square or over the point fielder. Pikky of France coming into bat now.
Well, in his 4th game, he only has 1-6 to his name. If he can tonk one today, his captain Merv Erasmus will be very pleased with him. But it's tough going for the lower order batters in white ball cricket. He needs to get Jan Frylinck on strike. The UAE have been excellent in the death overs. Ahmed Raza will be very pleased with the effort. The fielding has been hard. The catching has been efficient. And they've really hit that block hole length very well. Zahoor Khan to continue. 3 wickets to his name. Pikky of France on strike. Tries to paddle it and he's bowled him. Zahoor Khan. You miss, I hit. Beautiful bowling.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant. Death bowling. That's the definition of death bowling. Again, coming around the wicket to the left-hander, right at the base of the stumps. There's not a lot you can do about that. Big wicket there. An absolutely brilliant last over by Zahoor Khan. He's on a hat-trick with the last ball coming up. And Nambia is losing the plot just a little bit. 158 for 8.
It's been a superb effort in the death overs by Rohan Mustafa and that man Zahoor Khan. 4 wickets to his name. You have to remember, in his first 2 overs, he had gone for 20 runs. And since then, he's bounced back with 4 wickets. My goodness, that is absolutely brilliant. And that will give a lot of confidence to the UAE national team.
Yes, we all talk about momentum and taking momentum back into the dugout. Right now, the momentum is definitely with the UAE. New batsman Karl Birkenstock. Well, he has the unenvious task of keeping the hat-trick delivery out and also ensuring that Zahoor doesn't get a fifer. So a lot at stake at this delivery.
What a start to the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. 158 for 8. Zahoor Khan 4 for 28 on a hat-trick. It's number 9, 10 and Jack at the crease. Karl Birkenstock, he'll be feeling the heat. Can this man on screen produce a magical moment here at the ICC Academy in Dubai? There's a whole nation cheering for you. Come on, Zahoor. You can do it. On a hat-trick. Karl Birkenstock, another left-hand batter, round the wicket. Zahoor Khan, hat-trick ball. Foolish delivery and it's punched down the ground. It was in the slot. It was in the block hole. but Birkenstock does really well. They pick up a single, and Namibia will conclude their 20 overs at 159 for 8. Game on.
Well, really good finish by UAE. They fought hard after that strong start from Namibia. The last 5 overs and that last momentum staying with the UAE. Zahoor Khan, absolutely brilliant. 3 wickets in his last 2 overs, and he was almost on a hat-trick, getting a 5-for as well. So we have a look at the UAE team now walking out. They'll be the happier of the two lots, I feel, especially with what has happened in the last 3 overs.
We have to remember that the UAE won the toss, elected to bowl first. We've seen that chasing has been the trend in T20I cricket these days. And Ahmed Raza on the right of your screen talking to his charges. You've done well, men. We were under pressure, but you held your nerve, you fielded well, you took wickets. And now that target on screen of 160, very, very capable batsmen in their lineup. Mohammad Usman, Basil, Hameed, Rizwan, CP, Mohammad Wasim, Vriitya, Arvind. It's a star-studded side. Definitely very capable of hunting down this target of 160. The game is well and truly on.
They're going with a very
Then Kashif Daud with the new ball on T20I debut. This one swung away towards square leg, straight down the throat of Rizwan CP, and after that it was the Namibian batters who put a lot of pressure on the UAE bowling. Those reverse paddles, those reverse sweeps, they brought them out very efficiently against Sultan Ahmed, consistently peppering that short third man boundary. Kashif Daud had a bit of a struggle. That was nicely pulled away towards square leg for 4. There was a very long partnership here between Stephan, Baard and Craig Williams. Craig Williams getting a 50. Very excellent innings. That was a beautiful punch down the ground. That off drive executed beautifully. Rohan Mustafa was brought in, but he was also hammered. Craig Williams, number 46 for Namibia, picking the gaps at will. Ahmed Raza, the captain, was also taken to task. Nice paddle sweep put away, fine leg in the circle. And then towards mid-wicket. So he was creating problems against the spinners. And this one was a hit-me delivery that he rightly dispatched all the way for half a dozen. Zahoor Khan came in for some punishment as well. This was a poor delivery, back of a length, smacked for 6. But this time he produced a wicket of Craig Williams. That was a huge moment in the game. Mohammad Wasim came in and gave 2 very, very important overs to his captain, producing the wicket here. Good catch taken at short fine. Ahmed Raza came in. David Wiese edged him away for 4. The big unit, but look at this delivery from Zahoor Khan. Absolute beauty. Nailed it, hitting the base of middle stump. Rohan Mustafa also got a wicket of Johannes Smit. Well caught at long off by the captain Ahmed Raza. So in the end, a target of 160 of the Rahman. I feel it's anybody's game to win here.
Yeah, it's right in the balance, 160s. Both the teams would think they have a chance now. So we have a look at the batting card. Zane Green, the first wicket to fall to the debutant Kashif, and then Stephan, Baard, Craig Williams put a brilliant partnership together. Erasmus, their captain, batted well for 27. David Wiese, the big wicket for Mohammad Wasim on debut, 10 runs he scored. Johan Smith was looking good at 14, and then the last 4 wickets falling very quickly. Jan Frylinck scoring just 2 runs, and Ruben Trumpelmann 1. Pikky France and Karl Birkenstock were not out. Just the 7 extras, so very disciplined bowling by the UAE lineup. 159 for 8. Anyone's game at this stage.
Taking a look at the bowling analysis then. Sultan Ahmed bowling in the power play, none for 24 in his 3. Kashif Daud did not complete his spell, 1 for 16. Zahoor Khan, the outstanding performer, 4 for 29. He was absolutely unplayable at the death. Rohan Mustafa was hammered a little bit, 1 for 39 in his quota. The captain Ahmed Raza, steady as always, none for 33. And Mohammad Wasim, a 2 for 13 in his 2 overs. And you can see that fall of wickets after that big stand for the 2nd and 3rd wicket. It was a steady flurry for the UAE bowling side, and they inflicted that pressure on the Blue Eagles.
Zahoor Khan taking those 3 wickets in the last 2 overs, and 1 wicket for Rohan Mustafa as well.
So there he is, 160, the target for UAE. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the UAE run chase. Stay tuned at the Dafa News. Be back in about 10 minutes for the UAE run chase. Stay tuned at the Dafa News. Right then, thank you very much. Back for the second innings at the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash 2021. The UAE chasing 160, and they've got their score off the mark with a wide. Namibia posted 159 for 8 in their first innings. The UAE, of course, elected to win the toss and bowl first. So the pressure is on them. Mohammad Wasim. Fantastic record he has in T20. Even has a centuries to his name in this format. So a lot of onus on him. And opening with him is Chirag Suri. Very fine batter in his own right. Down the leg side this time. Off the pad. But they won't rotate the strike, so immediately some swing on offer for the Namibian bowlers. It's Ruben Trumpelmann taking the new ball for the Namibians. Big unit, swings the ball prodigiously. And this is his T20I debut, so best of luck to you, young man. Big career ahead of you, only age 23. This time an absolute corker. Beats the outside edge of Mohammad Wasim. He was shaping up for that in-swinger, but the ball just held its line and beat him all ends up. A cracking delivery. And joining me in the comm box, enjoying this fantastic exhibition of swing bowling is Shoaib Ahmed. Welcome, Shoaib.
Thank you, Ahmed. Yes, what a great start this is from Namibia. And from Ruben. Always pleasing to the eye, isn't it? The left arm's fast bowler steaming in and getting some pace and bounce off the wicket. And also some swing in the air, as you rightly mentioned, Ahmed.
He's really hitting that nagging length really well. Mohammad Wasim Getting in a bit of trouble, fishing at that ball, very lucky not to just edge it back to the keeper. And what I really like here, not to just edge it back to the keeper. And what I really like here from the Namibians, they have a slip in place. We didn't see Trumpelmann.
Yes, this is good bowling, good start from Ruben Trumpelmann. Again, generating some extra bounce off the wicket. This is good bowling, good start from Ruben. And Wasim, who's playing his first T20 international for UAE, will have to answer some tough questions asked by Ruben in the form of this exquisite bowling. Looks really, really good, Ruben. Exquisite bowling. Looks really, really good, Ruben. Bowling. Looks really, really good, Ruben. Have been really, really
And alongside Mohammad Wasim is Chirag Suri, a very, very talented batter, very elegant player. He believes in himself, he believes in his ability, and this is a huge platform for him. As you can see, the picturesque surroundings of the ICC Academy here in Dubai Sports City. The hustle and bustle of Dubai never ends. We have the IPL, the World T20, and of course the Dafanu Summer T20 going on as well. Truckload of cricket in the Middle East.
That's right, especially in the UAE. Of course, there's a lot of cricket happening in Oman as well. But you're right about UAE and the busy schedule that we have right now. One of the busiest we've ever seen. And why not? The World T20 is happening right here in the UAE for the very first time. And all these teams are vying for a place. Namibia looks really good.
Nicely guided away to third man. So Chirag Suri getting off the mark without any issues. David Wiese taking the new ball for Namibia from the other end. He's played all over the world. He's played for Sussex. He's played for Lahore Qalandars. He's played in the Caribbean Premier League as well. The Big Bash, you name it. He's been there. Extremely handy bowler. Has a brilliant change of pace. That slower ball of his is very hard to pick. And he's a hot property wherever there's franchise cricket around the globe. Squared him up this time. Excellent fielding at backward point. That's more like it. But he's given away overthrows. Can you believe it? Just when we were praising him, the commentator's curse has struck.
Oh, yes, absolutely. A miss, an overthrow there, and that has resulted in a single. We'll take that. Wasim is on 1 of 7. He's... We'll take that. Wasim is on 1 of 7. He's...
In the batting power play, they have a lot of batting. Muhammad Usman, to name a few. Vriitya Arvind as well, the young champion. He'll probably coming in at number 3, very likely. So they can easily hunt this down if they keep their wickets intact. Short ball this time. Excellent bouncer from David Wiese. Short ball this time. Excellent bouncer from David Wiese, but given as a wide.
Who's also played for RCB in the IPL. So yes, a lot of T20 cricket. So yes, a lot of T20 cricket.
Short ball this time. Excellent bouncer from David Wiese, but given as a wide. Control of that shot, but Chirag will take it for now.
Yes, he won't mind that. As long as UAE are getting runs, they wouldn't mind overthrows, misfields. Misfields. As long as UAE are getting runs, they wouldn't mind overthrows, misfields.
Work. Good decision.
Oh yes, the umpires, oh well. Immediately as soon as it hit Mohammad Wasim, he signalled showing that it had hit the elbow.
It's been a slow start for the UAE, only 5 runs off the first 2 overs. Of course, we do have to remember that the national team has been playing together after a fair while now. They've been part of training camps and all that, ECB training camps. But together as a unit in a competitive fixture, it's been some time since they played as one. So it will take some time for them to hit their groove. But there's a lot of talent in this UAE side, Shoaib Ahmed.
Oh yes, absolutely. No doubt about that. And you're right, UAE hasn't played a lot of international cricket in the recent months. The last international outing was in January this year against Ireland, where they played 3 T20 internationals. But after that, there has been a dearth of international cricket for UAE. So this is good news for UAE to be able to play against some top teams, the likes of Ireland and Namibia.
Absolutely. We are at the ICC Academy. We have quite a fair few ovals here. And just behind us in the comm box, Team Ireland are training, getting ready for their matches in the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. They'll be taking on the UAE side as well. So that's very high-class competition here for the UAE national team. And the dream is to reach the next World T20 and, of course, the ODI World Cup in 2023. You have to set big targets, big dreams. This time, lovely slice shot from Chirag. Suri beats the backward point fielder and goes all the way for 4.
Oh yes, what a great shot that was. Absolute class coming in from Chirag. Suri waiting for the ball and then playing it in the gap, beating the fielder at point. That will give him a lot of confidence. When you middle such deliveries, it definitely sets the tone for the remainder of the innings. This is good batting from Chirag. UAE get their first boundary. 9 runs on the board for UAE.
He's such an elegant player. Plays with a lot of touch, a lot of style. Doesn't try to power the ball, just slicing that ball there. And it screams away for 4. That outfield is absolutely electric. This time, safely shouldering arms. A good pacey delivery from Trumpelmann. And he strides down the ground, gives a bit of a stare to Chirag.
Oh yes, no bowler. Get the bragging right. And just a stare and let the eyes do the talking, as they say.
Absolutely. There are 2 schools of thought when you're a fast bowler. This time pulled away. Lovely shot there. Square leg is giving a hard chase and he will clean up. But they'll pick up an easy 2. Nice shot executed there by Chirag Suri. As I was mentioning, there are 2 schools of thought when it comes to aggressive fast bowling. There's the Australian style where you sledge the batter, you get in his head. Or there's the West Indian, the Caribbean style. You just give him a stare right into his soul.
Oh yes, and then there's a third school as well, which does not have a lot of students in that school. It's the Malinga school of fast bowling, where you bowl and you smile.
This time quick single within the circle. Very good call. Excellent communication by Mohammad Wasim and Chirag Suri.
That's right. These players have played a lot of cricket in the domestic circuit, alongside each other, against each other. So they know their ins and outs, the strengths and weaknesses. The target of 160 is what it is for UAE to chase down in the allotted 20 overs. And for that, they need a good start. Meanwhile, Namibia will be looking early inroads. Some early wickets.
This time, Mohammad Wasim with a premeditated pull shot. That was a quick delivery once again. Dot ball to end the over. 3 overs gone. UAE 12 for no loss. He's not looking. He's not. Look, CC Academy, world-class IPL sides training here on a daily basis, and now we have some T20I action taking place as well. Namibia taking on the UAE. There you can see Rizwan, CP, Vriitya, Arvind, Muhammad Usman, Rohan, Mustafa, Kashif, Daud can bat as well. Ahmed, Raza can hit some big sixes when required. Even Sultan Ahmed is quite useful with the bat. And Basil, Hameed as well. A lot of batting in this UAE side, Shoaib.
Oh yes, absolutely, no doubt about that. UAE bat deep, and I think they've come out with a plan with an intent to have a heavy batting lineup. The bowlers have done the job for UAE. It's the batters now.
Oh, Johannes Smit into the attack. Oh, a bit of football skills there. That could have been close. Chirag Suri needed to be switched on there. So immediately David Wiese has been pulled from the attack and Johannes Smit brought in, getting some extra bounce.
Yes, that's right. A good ball there from Smit. Starts off really well, JJ Smit.
Excellent economy rate of 6.2. He's just 25 years old. We've already seen he can pack a punch with the willow. And he bowls some left arm medium pace as well. So a very good prospect. And that's a good line and length here. Not giving Chirag any room at all.
Yes, that was a good ball. Slower delivery. Change of pace from Smit. And Chirag, who's on 9 of 11. Checking the shot at the last moment, making sure it meets the middle of the bat.
Ringfield on the offside. The third man is quite square, so he can glide the ball down if he so chooses. This time tries that paddle. Big appeal. But oh my goodness, that was very close. Didn't get any bat on it, thankfully.
Yes, again a premeditated shot from Chirag Suri. Wanted to scoop that, play the lap shot. Missing it completely. Lucky not getting an edge on that occasion, Chirag Suri. There was an appeal there, but has been turned down, and rightly so.
The strategy was not too bad. Fine leg was in the circle, so if he had executed that shot, there was a certain boundary to be had. But Smit is not the quickest bowler. This time tucked away towards square leg, and they'll just take a single. That's more like it. Play with a straight bat. Play to the merit of the ball.
Yes, a much better shot there from Chirag. Textbook cricket. Just dabs it and takes a single. They need a few boundaries here, UAE. They need to get to a good start, especially in the first 6 overs. The power play overs are vital. And it is imperative that these players from UAE try to capitalize on the power play restrictions on the field. As you can see, there's a change in the field now. So the third man comes in, and they have 2 fielders on the onside, a mid-wicket and a deep square leg.
Interesting field placing here, perhaps trying to double bluff Mohammad Wasim. I think he just might pitch this ball up. Indeed he does, nicely flicked away towards mid-wicket. Mohammad Wasim will take that single quite happily.
Yes, a single on the offer, taken easily by Wasim. Wasim, who's also played in the Abu Dhabi T10, was a part of the winning team, Northern Warriors. So he has some experience behind him coming into this game, playing his first T20 international, Mohammad Wasim.
This time beats the outside edge, flirting at that one, Chirag Suri. An excellent over from Johannes Smit. Only 2 runs off it. 4 overs gone. UAE are 14 for no loss.
Yes, good bowling from Namibia and the Namibian bowlers. Let's talk a little bit about the opening pair of UAE here, Chirag and Wasim. While they still have Vriitya in their ranks, would you have done anything different? Would you have wanted Vriitya to bat up the order and maybe send Chirag at number 3? Do you think that's a good option?
That's a very good question, Shoaib. I think Chirag and Vriitya both are very fine batters. Can easily play at 3 or open the innings. And I think they're really spoilt for choice. It's really who's in the best nick. And the problem is that both Chirag and Vriitya did not play the D50. This time David Wiese has switched ends. Quick single taken. And they'll pick it up. Good running, good communication. So they're both a bit out of nick, out of practice. So perhaps that is weighing them down right now.
Yes, a valid point there. Chirag, Suri and Vriitya did miss the D50, the Emirates D50 tournament. But still, if you had to choose, I would personally feel, and this is my humble opinion, that Vriitya is a lot more effective in the first 6 overs with the power play in place. Meanwhile, a good shot there will get a single, Chirag Suri. The score moves on to 15, which is not a decent start for UAE. We'll have to up the ante.
Indeed. The hustle and bustle of Dubai. That's the Mohammed bin Zayed road behind us. Always chock-a-block with traffic. And if you want to stop by for some high-quality cricket, come over to the ICC Academy. We'll be glad to have you. Of course, you do have to follow all the COVID protocols. Swung away across the line. My goodness. That ball could have gone absolutely anywhere, and he's very lucky not to get cleaned up, Mohammad Wasim.
Yes, Wasim there trying to break the shackles. Trying to go for a flashy hit on the onside. Missing it completely, and lucky the ball was way close to that off stump. There you see again, just on the top of off. Needs to calm his nerves down. Play on the merit of the ball.
This time edged and
play on the merit of the ball.
This time edged and
of the bat, but this is a much better shot compared to what he was trying to play on the previous delivery. A little hesitant, but will not mind that. There you see, just a late swivel of the bat, slicing it and getting 4.
And I do have to question the tactics here from the Namibians. Why haven't you got a slip in place? You haven't leaked a lot of runs. David Wiese is always challenging that outside edge. A slip would have snaffled that quite easily. This time pulled away off the front foot, but the square leg, Jan Frylinck does really, really well. Keeps it to a single.
Yes, that's good cricket overall. Good ball from David. Played it towards the square leg fielder. And will get a single. So good looking shot there from Wasim. Finally from the meat of the bat. Last ball of the over. Needs to go for a boundary here. For a big shot. Chirag Suri. Will he do that?
Oh, this is in the air. And straight to mid-off. Chirag Suri trying to challenge that fielder. Trying to get it over the top. That man David Wiese has struck. UAE 21 for 1.
Oh yes, going for that big hit on the last ball of the 5th over. And not timing it too well. Some extra bounce there from Wiese. And that ball has gone straight into the hands of the mid-off fielder. Takes in simple catch, easy as it gets. And Chirag Suri walks back. 11 of 16. 5 overs gone. UAE are 21 for 1. And at the end of the 5th over, we have a change in the comm box. Ahmed Khwaja has been replaced, and I have now the esteemed company of Abdul Rahman Tariq.
Thank you, Shoaib. Timely wicket there for Namibia. UAE has got off to a very indifferent start. 21 in 5 overs, chasing 160. That required run rate that started off at 8 is now at 9.2.
Yes, that's right. The score is not looking very promising, but you have Mohammad Wasim, and we know once he sets in, he can actually play a big innings. Another good delivery there, outside off, angling across the right-handed batsman, Mohammad Wasim. Wanted to slash that, missing it yet again. Bowlers have been on the money for Namibia, have kept it tight.
Yes, and Wasim is looking a bit indifferent. Again on the pads. No run there. So the bowlers for Namibia have been spot on. But as I was saying, Wasim, even in the D50 tournament trip that you and I covered, he's not looking his natural self. He's not playing his shots, those flicks, those mid-wicket slogs that he plays, especially on the new ball. Very circumspect. Wasim, 8 of 16 deliveries.
He has a slower delivery this time. You're right, he's not at his absolute best. In the D50, he got a good innings, just one innings where he scored a 50-odd runs. But barring that, he's been pretty ordinary. But right now, today, it's a big game for him. All that has happened in the past. It's a fresh day today. And he needs to perform and do well for UAE in his debut game. He comes with a lot of good things said about him. A promising player, Mohammad Wasim.
Well, I'm sure these are just debut nerves. Once he gets settled in and understands how the wicket is playing, he'll play a lot more fluently. Rizwan, CP at 3. We're talking about the batting order, and maybe had Vriitya opened the innings with Chirag Suri coming in at 3, but we see here UAE has a different plan. Chirag was looking good, got a couple of boundaries away. Again, the wicket isn't as easy as we think, especially if the ball is pitched a little bit short, just sits up a little bit.
Yes, there is some extra bounce. Meanwhile, going for a single, rightly sent back by Rizwan. In fact, by Mohammad Wasim, who's on the non-striking end. Rizwan wanted to go for it. So Namibia have managed to keep things really tight in the first 6 overs. At least this.
Not there, but just a single. So 23 runs in the power play, Shoaib, for the loss of 1 wicket for UAE. A lot of ground to cover.
Yes, that's right. The first 6 overs definitely belong to Namibia. The way they've bowled, they've managed to get a wicket as well, that of Chirag Suri. And UAE have not been able to get a momentum going in their favour. They've got a couple of boundaries in that first 6 overs. But barring that, Namibia has been in complete control of the innings. They know what they're doing, and they've managed to keep pressure on UAE. The scorecard, Mohammad Wasim is not out on 9 of 18. Very unlike Mohammad Wasim. Chirag Suri also scoring 11 of 16. So they've taken their time out in the middle. Now it is important that Mohammad Wasim stays there till the end. Rizwan is the new man in. Scored just a single in 2 deliveries.
We were saying there's a lot of batting still to come. Vriitya, Usman, Rohan, Mustafa, Kashif, Daud is a very good batsman as well. Basil, Hameed, Ahmed, Raza can tonk a few. So there's a lot of batting to come and a lot of pressure on the existing batting and batsmen as well. Rizwan and Wasim are also playing for their slots in this batting lineup.
Yes, you're right. UAE have a lot of batting and there is some internal healthy competition to get into the top playing 11, and that's a good sign for UAE cricket. Namibia have been on the money. Credit to them. They started off really well when they were batting. And then in the bowling as well, in the first 6 overs, they've been absolutely clinical.
Well, with the likes of Ali Shan Sharfu, Muhammad Bhuta outside in the dugout, as you said, there's a lot of competition for those batting slots. New bowler Karl. The UAE batsman would prefer his bowling wide outside off stump, and Rizwan is off with the boundary. Compared to the left arm fast bowlers, he seems to be a little bit slower in pace. And I think this is where the UAE batting lineup now has to take over and start scoring some aggressive runs. They need to go at 10 runs and over.
That's right, they need to target certain bowlers. Come out with a plan. This was a good shot, flashy shot, beating the fielder at point, and once that ball cleared him, it was always going to be 4 runs. Another good looking shot from Rizwan, this time on the pads. Nicely flicked, good batting. He looks good, looks compact, looks confident, so that is good news for UAE. But these two need to build a partnership and score at least 8 runs and over from here on, if not 10, so that they're still in the hunt in chasing that total down of 160. Birkenstock, Karl Birkenstock, 7 of 4.
Well, again, wide outside off stump. Wasim is missing out. He put these deliveries away for boundaries in his sleep. Just that little bit of touch that he's missing, out of form slightly. But Rizwan CP, he's going to play a key role in this run chase. He's a very intelligent batsman. Got a boundary and then took a single, got off the mark.
This time stepping down and played that in the gap. Has he? Yes, he has. Bisecting those two fielders and he gets another 4. This is good batting. Some intent, some positive intent coming in from Mohammad Wasim, and we know how dangerous he can be once he gets going.
Well, this is one of his get out of jail shots. That's what he does when he's in a little bit of pressure. Again, he didn't time it that well, but got the placement right. So an expensive over by Karl Birkenstock, 11 runs coming off it. And UAE just motoring a little bit, getting that momentum that they need to chase this total of 160 down.
Yes, some momentum finally for UAE in the 7th over of the game. An expensive over in the context of the game from Karl Birkenstock. Wasim is on 14 of 21. Finally some runs for him in the form of boundaries, one from Rizwan and the other one from Wasim in that over. We're bringing you live pictures from the ICC Academy.
We have a double bowling change. Bernard, the new bowler, left arm spinner.
Yes, it's Bernard Scholtz, the left arm spinner for Namibia.
.45 economy rate. Doesn't go for a lot of runs in the air, but safely down to the long on fielder. So Rizwan gets 1 run. Those are really impressive stats by Scholtz. Just the 5.45 economy rate. He's taken 26 wickets in the 14 matches that he's bowled in. So clearly the strike spinner for the Namibian bowlers. And quicker ball coming into Mohammad Wasim. Plays it down to mid-wicket for 1.
Yes, 21 years old, Bernard Scholtz. A young, talented left-arm spinner. Bats right-handed though. Has played 8 ODIs and 17 T20 internationals. So that's some experience there for the young Scholtz. And he's looked good in the first 4 deliveries. He's bowling at the right pace that is needed on a wicket like that. A little quicker in the air. And also has been able to get some turn off the wicket. Just a little bit, but yes.
Yeah, and unlike Sultan and Rohan, who are bowling a bit too quick and getting played behind the wicket-keeper, as we saw, Rizwan tried to guide it down to third man, but just got a single. He's not very, very quick, which is intelligent bowling for a spinner. Inside out, in the air. Just goes to the deep cover fielder for 1. So a good solid start by Bernard Scholtz. 5 runs coming off his first over. UAE motors along 39 for 1 in 8.
Yes, a good over again in the context of the game from Namibia. They wouldn't mind those singles. Just 5 runs off that Bernard over. 8 overs gone. 39 for 1 is the score. 12 more overs in this innings. And 121 runs needed. So more than 10 runs and over now needed for UAE. They need to keep targeting certain bowlers and try to get some runs. 1 odd boundary in every over is a must right now.
Well, I think again the start from the UAE openers leaving a lot of work to do for the lower order now. As the new bowler, young Frylinck, comes into bowl. Left arm, medium pace. Again, wide outside off stump. Plays it down to third man, Rizwan. Rizwan looking really good with the bat. But when the start, your required run rate is 8. What you don't want happening is that it goes to 10, 11 runs and over even before you've crossed the 10 over mark. So very slow start by the UAE batsmen, but they know they can cover up. They have a lot of firepower.
That's right, but they don't want to keep it till the end. They want to make sure that in the last 5-6 overs, even if it's 10 and over, then they would still fancy a chance. And for that, they need to continue scoring in the middle overs, which is always a little bit challenging, especially with the spinners coming in.
Well, yeah, sure. If you had mentioned opening the batting with Vriitya, I think I would have agreed with that. Opening the batting with Vriitya and Wasim and getting Chirag in at 1 down. Jan comes into bowl again. In the air and he's gone. Short fine leg. And the ball goes straight to him. So Rizwan was looking to play aggressive shots. Unfortunately has to lose his wicket, and UAE is in a lot of trouble now. 41 for 2 in 8.3.
Oh yes, a wicket taken right at the right time. Rizwan was found in a mix and a poor shot there. Not timing it. Has to walk back. 11 of 10 and UAE in some trouble right now. 41 for 2 with that wicket. Namibia have been in complete control. They look really good. And well set for the big World T20 qualifiers. They look like a side to reckon with.
Yeah, they look like a very balanced side. Obviously, somebody like David Wiese coming in with all his international experience will definitely help. Not just from a game perspective, but also from a teaching perspective for the players. New batsman coming in, Mohammad Usman. We'll have to see after his hand injury if he's still comfortable with the bat in hand. Have a look again. We saw Mohammad Wasim pointing to Usman that Rizwan, while playing that shot, sort of fell over. And that's why I couldn't get any placement or any height on that shot. Left-hander coming in, Mohammad Usman, most experienced batsman some would say the best batsman in this UAE batting lineup. Scored a brilliant 100 along with Rizwan CP against Ireland in 50 over game. But now almost 11 runs and over required. A lot of pressure coming in the UAE.
Yes, that's right. This is a pressure situation, and when there is a pressure situation, you need to send your best people out there to do the job for you. And Mohammad Usman is one of them. Definitely has been in the UAE team for a long, long time. And he is one of the key players to look out for when you are playing. And he is one of the key players to look out for when you are playing.
Ball played down to the point fielder. Yes, if you are imagining, we are sitting outside. The weather is not bad at all.
That's
Unfortunately, you guys cannot come and see the game from the stadium, but you can see it from the comfort of your living rooms with the air conditioning on.
Yes, you can enjoy the game right from your living room. You can enjoy the game right from your living room.
Conditioning on.
Yes, you can enjoy the game right from your living room.
Off with two. Then Jan is coming in and filling in as well after the power play. So very well balanced bowling attack. And with Bernard Schultz, the left arm spinner, a lot of variety as well. David Wiese, right arm outswing bowler, medium pacer. The stumps this time, no run. A lot of pressure now on Wasim. He's faced 25 deliveries, scored just a 17 runs. Very unnatural innings from him. He'll have to cut loose very quickly.
That's a poor delivery, short delivery, played equally well. Is it in the gap? Good fielding effort, absolutely brilliant effort in the field there from the fielder, saving a certain boundary and putting more pressure on Wasim because he's desperately looking for a 4 here, for a boundary. Not giving him too easily. This is good cricket overall.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant in the outfield. Have a look at that. Ball was racing away. Played down to short third man. We're back live. And the fielder giving a relay back to the long on fielder coming in and saving 2 runs. Brilliant fielding. Nambia, as you were saying, looked like a very good unit. You wouldn't be surprised if they caused an upset or two if they qualified for the World Cup, Shoaib.
That's right, absolutely. The batting looked really good. The bowling has been exceptional. And now the fielding as well. They are right on the money. Not has been exceptional. And now the fielding as well. They are right on the money. Not the bowling has been exceptional, and now the fielding as well. They are right on the money, not giving an inch.
We're almost at the end of the 10 over mark and UAE is not even crossed 50. We're almost at the end of the 10 over mark and UAE is not even crossed 50. Short Dot ball. Played down to the cover fielder. It's running away. You look at the UAE camp. They applaud that boundary. Much needed boundary. Camp. They applaud that boundary. Much needed boundary. 50 comes up in 9.5. Again, very slow. Namibia had crossed the 50 runs in the power play.
Yes, 100%. Coming from the bat of Mohammad Wasim. Finally, he gets it over the side screen into the long on big six.
Well, this is his release shot, and he needed this. That boundary before that, giving him a little bit of confidence. And that's six. Finally taking him to a runner ball. 57 for 2 UAE. Still a lot of ground to cover. They need almost 100 runs in the last 10 overs. And they'll need Wasim to play similar to this for the next 3 or 4 overs if they want to stand any chance of taking that total down. 4 overs if they want to stand any chance of taking that total down. Similar to this for the next 3 or 4 overs if they want to stand any chance of taking that. This is going to be a very interesting bowling change. They're bringing on another spinner. Jan had bowled a very good over before this. So Namibia is ringing in the changes. Merv Erasmus making those interesting bowling changes. The off spinner, very interesting action. Comes and bowls a dot ball. But Shoaib, that reminds me a little bit of Harbhajan Singh, the way he approaches the wicket.
Yes, a similar looking bowling action from France. Yes, very similar to Harbhajan Singh. This time on the pads, loose delivery. He would be very unhappy, Mohammad Usman, missing out on that occasion. That could have been played anywhere and he could have earned a boundary, but not to be.
Yes, Usman will be very disappointed. He's missed out on that. That could have easily been a 4. It's one fielder in the circle, a short fine leg. Again on the patch, really well bowled. Right in the stumps. Not giving Usman a lot of room. But this is going to be very interesting to watch. France against Wasim. He's giving the ball a lot of air. We'll have to see if Wasim tries to go downtown just the way he did in the previous over.
Yes, he will be looking for a ball in the slot. Mr. Iftikhar Ali, the umpire for today. One of the experienced umpires in the UAE. Flighted delivery outside off. Nicely cut. Waiting for that ball, Wasim. So he's not going all guns blazing. He is playing on the merit of the ball. That is good for Wasim himself and for UAE, because if they want to chase this total down, they need Wasim or Usman, either of the two, to stay there till the end.
Well, we're having faced 30 deliveries now, Shoaib. I think it's Wasim's role to play through the innings. Usman definitely has a big role to play as well. But he's just walked into the crease. Again, France is bowling really well. Just the 4 singles, first 5 deliveries that he's bowled. Wasim now having faced 30 deliveries, scored 31. I think the bulk of the scoring has to be through him.
Yes, he's been looking good. So a mix of a bowling action from France. Hilaw France, that's his full name. I hope I'm getting that right. End of over number 11. UAE are 61 for 2.
Well, that's a very good over from France. Just the 4 runs given. 61 in 11 overs, Shoaib. That required run rate is now exactly 11. They need 99 runs in the last 9 overs. It's going to be a very exciting finish if they can get going, the UAE batsmen.
Well, I hope so. UAE needs to make a mark, play and win against Namibia, who's already qualified for the World T20 main event.
We'll have a look at that bowling lineup. Ruben, Trumpelmann, 2 overs, 8 runs. David Wiese, 2 overs, 11. Johan Smit, 2 overs, 4. So they have 6 overs between them. And he's played it over the long on fielder for 6. So Wasim now getting a move on. Fielder for 6. So Wasim now getting a move on. And he's played it over the long on fielder for 6. So Wasim
by a few yards at fielder, no run there. Good comeback.
Yes, and I think this has been one of the problems with the UAE chase so far. When they get a boundary, the next few deliveries can be dot balls and just put a lot of pressure on themselves. And then 2 dot balls, so just adding pressure on themselves, the UAE batsmen. We all know Wasim can be devastating when he gets going. I think that's what he's lacking at the moment. Just taking that single, guiding it down to third man, get off strike, compose and come back again in the next over.
Yes, you're right. Again, a good looking shot taken for a single. So there are 3 left arm fast bowlers. In fact, they've gone for 2. This is good running between the wickets. Taken for a single. So there are 3 left arm fast bowlers. In fact, they've gone for 2. This is good running between the wickets. So there are 3 left arm fast bowlers. In fact, they've gone for 2. This is good running between the wickets. He was on strike and he has to walk back, and that's a big wicket for UAE. Namibia will fancy their chances even more now.
Well, 1 dab too many by Mohammad Wasim. We see him do this a lot. Absolutely no need after getting 8 runs in that over so far. Just guiding it into the keeper's hands. So poor shot, but a good innings nonetheless from Mohammad Wasim. 36 deliveries faced for his 39 runs. And UAE in a bit of trouble. 68 for 3 and 11.5.
Yes, that's a big wicket. The man who was set, Mohammad Wasim, has to walk back. Zane Frylinck gets a wicket, gets his revenge, was hit for a 6, and then he's come back strongly in that over to take a wicket. Namibia look in complete control. They know what they're doing, and there will be pressure on the new man. Basil Hameed is the new man in for UAE. 11.5 overs, 68 for 3.
The new batsman Basil Hameed going to have a lot of pressure. There's still a lot of work to do for the UAE batting lineup, but they still have Rohan, Mustafa, Kashif, Daud, Vriitya, Irvin to come. So if they can go at 8-9 runs and over for the next 5, at least there'll be some sort of base.
Oh yes, absolutely. They need a base. That's what they need. A base from Basil. and Usman. Nicely played down the leg side for a single. Will just get one. Basil Hameed is also an experienced campaigner. Has a cool head, the right temperament. "12 overs gone, UAE 69 for 3. Tafa News Summer T20 Bash. There are 5 teams that are playing in this tournament. Alongside Namibia and UAE, there are matches played between UAE and Ireland. Papua New Guinea and Scotland are also participating in this tournament. So a lot of T20 internationals being played at the ICC Academy, and we are going to bring you all those matches live. So your dose of cricket is scheduled, and I'm sure you will enjoy all the cricket that is lined up for you.
Well, sure, this is absolutely perfect. You get a match in the morning, then about 2 o'clock you have an IPL game, and in the evening you have another IPL game. So by the time you hit the bed, you've gone through 4 T20 matches. It's what we would call as heaven.
Well, that's a 4-course meal. With the desserts, the main course, the starters, appetizers, you've got all of that right here in the UAE.
Yes, and all of this is happening in the UAE, as you said. If you're following it on TV or on YouTube, you can even get a glimpse of the Pakistan national T20 matches going on as well. So you've got the dessert, the glimpse of the Pakistan national T20 matches going on as well. So you've got the dessert, the
delivery played, but not timing it too well, Basil. And that happens when you're new at the crease. You're not sure about the pitch. You don't know how the pitch is faring. So you need some time out there to actually gauge the conditions well.
I really like the bowling changes from the captain Erasmus. He's brought in Ruben with the 2 new batsmen. Usman has just faced the 8 deliveries. Basil has faced 3. He had the short third man, short fine leg fielder for the right-hander, but this time there was a standard fine leg. Had there been a short fine leg, Basil would have been walking back. That last shot that he played didn't time it at all. Ruben coming into bowl again. Short delivery. UAE batsmen have struggled a lot at the shorter deliveries.
Oh, that's right. This is a good ball. It was an effective bouncer. Called 1 for the over. Usman was looking towards the umpire as soon as he missed it. But that was really a good delivery from Ruben. They have managed to keep things tight, haven't they? Namibia. It's as if they are playing in their home conditions. They are the home side. UAE, to their credit, have done decently well with the ball. But the batting has just been a little rusty, so to say. Good looking shot there. Will just get a single. So the bowling has been good, but the batting has not been up to the mark, and that is mainly because of a lack of cricket being played for UAE. And like we said, the last game that they had played was right up in January of this year. So since then, they haven't had a lot of international cricket. And maybe that's why they look a little bit rusty.
Well, Shoaib, they have been playing a lot of domestic cricket. You and I covered, as I mentioned, 50-over cricket tournament that happened a couple of weeks ago. A good-looking shot there by Basil. And we saw Basil do this in that domestic tournament, play straight down the ground and play it really well. So aggressive-looking shot for 4. But yes, I think from a UAE perspective, just getting that batting lineup correct in terms of the new players coming in. We saw Wasim, who's got his debut. Traditionally, it would have been Vriitya and Chirag most probably opening the batting, or Rohan, Mustafa opening the batting. Last ball of the 13th over. And again, in the context of the game, even though 7 runs have come off it, Ruben has bowled a very good over. 76 for 3, the UAE. But yes, It's a completely different ball game playing domestic cricket and then coming and facing an international team. Namibia, as you mentioned, on the verge of qualifying for the T20 World Cup. So they've been playing really good cricket. And having somebody like David Wiese, who's an international superstar, coming into the lineup and guiding them as well. There's a completely different ball game from playing the local domestic scene.
Yes, you're absolutely right about the fact that they haven't played a lot of cricket with each other. And UAE as a team is just settling their playing 11. So that too is in process as we speak. They're trying quite a few bowlers. There are a lot of new additions in the squad. Sanchit Sharma has been added to the squad. Akif Raja is also a part of the setup. So a lot of work in progress for UAE.
Yes, and I have a feeling that we'll see the likes of Alishan Sharfu and Sanchit Sharma very soon. I think UAE today were a bowler short, a frontline bowler short. They had to use Mohammad Wasim, who didn't do badly, got the 2 wickets when he bowled. Well, Basil Hameed has thrown his bat at that, and the ball has gone straight behind the wicket keeper for 4. He had absolutely no idea where he had played that ball, but nonetheless, the result is what he was looking for. 4 runs coming off the bat. UAE moves across to 80.
Oh yes, fortune favours the brave, they say so. And on that occasion, Basil Hameed showed some courage, trying to go for a big heave. And the ball just, as you rightly said, on the keeper's head, straight behind him. They wouldn't mind that as long as they come. UAE are 80 for 3 now, 13.2 overs.
And I'm sure Namibia will not mind that as well. But that's a very good shot there by Basil Hameed over the mid-wicket fielder for 6. So UAE is definitely on the move now. 10 runs and 2 deliveries for Basil Hameed.
That's a shot of the day for me. What a great shot from Basil. Waited for that delivery and then tonked it towards the mid-wicket. Look at that, on the front foot. Nice balance. Everything right about that shot. And gets 6 runs for that beautiful shot. So 10 runs, as you rightly said, in the first 3 deliveries of the Smit over. And this is good pressure being put back onto Namibia at the right time from UAE, because that's what the doctor had ordered for UAE.
Yes, but they have to make sure that they make it count now. They convert this into a 14, 15, 16 run over. If they let Smith bowl out, just get maybe 1 or 2 runs more, Namibia will feel that they've gotten away. UAE needs 12 runs and over from here. Again, guides it down to third man for 1. It's good cricket by Basil, but I think Usman will have to take charge as well. He'll have to go for a big shot here and make this over count.
Yes, you're right. As of now, Basil has been the major contributor towards the partnership. 18 of 9, scoring at 200 of a strike rate. So that's good. That's what is needed. Usman needs to up the ante as well. A few boundaries from him will definitely help UAE. Namibia in this over are under some kind of pressure. Short delivery, good ball there from Smit. Change of pace, a slower bouncer, not the quicker delivery. And playing a little bit too early, Usman, on that occasion.
Yes, again, the batsman is now under pressure. They've got just the 11 runs off the first 5 deliveries. This is what we were talking about. They could have easily made this a 14, 15, 16 run over. They'll have to try that. Usman will have to get a boundary or try to get a boundary in this delivery.
He tries and he is successful at that, getting a 6 right into the slot. Loose delivery, and Usman pounces on that, plays that straight down the ground. Beautiful looking shot. 6 to end the over. 14 overs gone, 93 for 3 now.
UAE moving across to 93 now for the loss of 3 wickets. That last over, a big over in the context of the match and the chase, 17 runs off it. And now UAE is definitely looking on track. That required run rate is still at 11 runs and over. But that's very much manageable if they keep going. And they've made a big bowling change now. Brought in the big gun, David Wiese. Who's given away only 11 runs in his 2 overs. Basil gets off strike quickly and takes a single.
Yes, David Wiese been brought into the attack, aiming for a wicket here. In the last 2 overs, UAE have got some momentum going their way. 12 of 12 is Usman. Basil on 19 of 10. 94 for 3 now. Looking for a run, risky run, direct hit would have been trouble for the non-striker. Lucky there, the ball missing the stumps. Basil putting in a dive to save himself. But that would have been out had that been a direct hit.
Yes, that Basil was definitely a goner. I think very good backup by Baard as well. Saved 4 runs. That throw was really hard and I don't think long off or long on had any chance to stop it.
This time stepping down and clearing the infield. Has he timed it really well? We'll have to wait and watch. Well, it looks like they've saved a certain boundary. Good fielding again from Nambia. Overall, good cricket. Slower delivery from Wiese. And then Usman coming out of the crease and playing and clearing the infield, which he knew was inside the circle. And then some good fielding display from Nambia. So overall, this is what good cricket is all about.
Yes, very good cricket indeed. Relay fielding, we've seen that become a norm now. 2 fielders chasing the ball instead of just the one. Again, short delivery. Dot ball. Crucial dot ball at this stage. 64 runs needed of just 32 deliveries. Every dot ball counts now, and Usman just feeling that pressure. 15 balls faced, 14 runs. He was looking for a wide ball, but that was a very, very good bouncer. Right over his shoulder. There's a lot of pressure now on the batting lineup of UAE. They need to score 64 runs. We're almost in the last 5 overs of this run chase.
Yes, that's right. Every ball counts now. Every dot ball is gold dust. Every boundary is gold dust for UAE as well. 14.5 overs, 97 for 3. Requires 63 of 31. Not impossible. It's still within the reach of UAE. They have a lot of batting firepower still left in the lineup. So it is important that these players perform today for UAE. Basil on 19, Usman on 15. A small handy partnership coming in between these 2 batters. Slower delivery, played that up in the air. Has not timed it too well. Fielder will not reach that ball. Lands in no man's land. Lands safely. Basil will breathe a sigh of relief. Will get a single. 15 overs gone, 98 for 3. It's time for a change in the com box. I will be stepping out, and replacing me will be Ahmed Khwaja.
That last delivery completely mistimed it, Basil, and very lucky that he had mistimed it, because had he got a little bit more bat on it, that would have gone straight into the hands of the long on fielder. David Wiese bowling really well, giving away just the 5 runs in that over. Have a look at that batting lineup. A lot of starts. Mohammad Wasim 39 of 36 deliveries. Chirag Suri 11 of 16. Rizwan CP a run a ball 11. And Basil Hameed, who's faced 11 deliveries, he scored 20. Has been the enforcer in this chase. Mohammad Usman 15 of 16, as I welcome Ahmed Khwaja into the com box. Well, Ahmed, Last time in the first innings, the last 5 overs, didn't go for a lot of runs when UAE were bowling, and now they need to chase at almost 12 runs and over.
Thank you very much, Abdurrahman. Yes, indeed, the counter-attack is on. The charge is on towards that target of 160. 62 needed in 30 deliveries. They have a lot of batting left. It is certainly possible. Jan Frylinck to continue. Down the ground, slapped over the top. No! What a catch, David Wiese. My goodness, can you believe it? Absolutely stunning. I am absolutely speechless. Incredible.
Well, that's one thing watching this catch on TV. It's another thing watching live. We've had the pleasure of doing both. Have a look at that. David Wiese covering a lot of ground and then full stretch drive. Well, that's the difference that you can see between an international player and an associate player. And I'm sure he's making that difference for Namibia as well. Absolutely brilliant catch that by David Wiese. Big wicket. Basil Hameed goes for 20, having faced 12 deliveries. And UAE in a bit of trouble. 98 for 4 and 15.1.
Absolutely stunning. That man on screen. The big burly all-rounder. It's not easy to get across, move so swiftly. But David Wiese has taken the catch of the summer so far. Absolutely incredible. You beauty.
The new batsman walking in, Rohan Mustafa. 2 left-handers now on strike. Batting lineup. Right hand, left hand combination. I think Vriitya has been pushed down too much in the batting order, Ahmed. But the experience of Rohan Mustafa and Usman now in the crease, and with 13 runs and over to get, I think it's the experience that they're counting on to see them across the line.
Unbelievable catch there from that man, David Wiese. My goodness. Full length stretch to his left. Producing a wicket just when the UAE were picking up some momentum. Now once again it's a rebuild. Rohan waste any time. Mohammad Usman at the other end. 15 off 16. Jan Frylinck has 3 for to his name. Worked away towards mid-wicket. It'll only be a single, so he safely gets off the mark. But Team Nambia have been incredible in the field.
Yes, not just the catching, the ground fielding has been magnificent.
Towards mid-wicket. It'll only be a single, so he safely gets off the mark.
Batsman walking in, Rohan Mustafa. 2 left-handers now on strike.
Four wickets for Jan Frylinck. Rohan Mustafa is gone for a golden duck.
Well, I think again we were saying UAE might have missed a trick here, having kept that right hand left hand combination. They've gone with Rohan Mustafa and he's placed that first ball right into the hands of the square leg fielder. Namibia is all over UAE. 99 for 5. Lot of trouble. Chasing a very big total of 160.
There was not a lot of time to get his eye set. He had to swing for the fences. Didn't catch it quite on the blade. That's safely taken. Jan Frylinck couldn't deliver with the bat, but he's been incredible with the ball. 4 for 13, and he still has 1.5 overs remaining.
Well, he's definitely fancy Michelle Pfeiffer. This stage of the game, with the UAE team going hell for leather, a lot of the balls are going to be going in the air. We've seen the Namibia fielding setup is absolutely brilliant. Haven't dropped a lot of chances. Everything that's come their way. Haven't dropped a lot of chances. Everything that's come their way just stick and stay there, never comes. As a batsman, you can play two. You can have a look. Usman has almost played two different shots there. Brilliant over so far.
This time powered down the ground. Chance for another wicket. Oh, this time he couldn't get there. If there was anybody in the Namibia team who could, it's David Wiese. But this time even he couldn't perform a Herculean effort. 100 up for the UAE.
Well, another ball in the air. There was no fielder. Maybe you would question whether they should have had a mid-on in the circle. The fielder from mid-off tried to get there. Smith and David Wiese coming in from long on as well. As we say, the ball just lands in no man's land. Chances.
It's going all the way for 4. My goodness, he really nailed that one. Boundary to end the over.
Well, what a way to get off the mark on your debut. Now we know why he's come above mark on your debut. Now we know why he's come above Vriitya.
56 needed of 24. It's going to take something very, very special from the red and grey of the UAE. Kashif Daud on T20I debut. Strike rate of 400. Got a wicket to his name. It's not impossible. They have a lot of batting left, but it looks quite improbable. Namibia in firm control of the game. The Blue Eagles are soaring high in the skyline of Dubai. Mohammad Usman will be on strike then. Already struck a mighty 6 a couple of overs ago. So he definitely has the capability. 17 of 19 does not do justice to his talent. Johannes Smit to continue. Going to bowl his final over of the day. Length ball slapped over mid-wicket this time. But only a single. Good field placing there by the captain Merv Erasmus.
And talking about captaincy, Ahmed, the bowling changes have been absolutely brilliant. They still have 1 over of David Wiese up their sleeve. They've got Jan Frylinck to bowl 1 over as well, who's bowled magnificently so far. As we have a look at Jan Smith coming into bowl, and he's given away just the 20 runs in his 3 overs. So when you're defending 14, 15 runs an over and you've got these 3 overs still to come, you know you've got that cushion.
Absolutely, and it's important to bowl within the team dynamics. This time down the leg side, given as a wide. And Johannes Smit, he's not express quick. He's not trying to bowl magic deliveries. He knows that the run rate equation is in Namibia's favor. So just stick it on a line and a length. Make the batters challenge the outfielders. And more often than not, they'll hole out.
And again, follow the book of Zahoor Khan if you can. Get those Yorkers in. Nail that leg stump base. That's exactly what he's trying to do.
This time struck down the ground firmly, and it's going all the way for 4. Kashif Daud is dealing in boundaries.
It's very simple, this game of cricket. As Kashif Daud has shown, just 2 deliveries. He's hit both of them for boundaries. He's asking what the fuss is all about. Brilliant looking shot there. Absolutely amazing timing. That piece of willow as well is looking amazing. Just check that shot and just gone into the fence. 1 bounce.
Bit of a slot ball there and rightly dispatched by Kashif Daud. Surveying the field on both sides. He'll take any boundary at this stage. 50 needed of 22. Can the UAE pull off a stunner here at the ICC Academy? It's game 1 of the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. We have plenty of action coming up over the next week. Mohammad Usman and Kashif Daud at the crease. Length delivery just bunted away to the cover fielder. Nelson on the board.
There was an interesting field change just before that delivery. They pushed Frylinck back and brought in third man, so definitely going to aim at the stumps and at his pads. If we look at that UAE dugout, looking a bit nervous at the moment. A lot of runs to get, 49 of just a 21 deliveries. UAE has taken 6 runs of the first 3 deliveries so far. They need to double that tally if they want to make this over count. 14 runs and over from here. Very difficult task, especially with just one more recognized batsman to come.
Johannes Smit getting through his 4 overs. Looks like a very handy cricketer. Hard hitter of the ball. Bowls seam up deliveries. Short ball this time flicked away by Mohammad Usman. Fine leg. Oh, that's brilliant fielding by the square leg fielder. Absolutely top class. He saved a certain boundary.
Well, as we've said before as well, that ground fielding from Nambia has been absolutely fantastic. The way they collect the ball and release it quickly, short delivery, played well by Usman, was always going away from the fielder. Look at that. And again, they've got the right fielders at the right place as well. He's a left-hander. So his strong side, it just gets to 2 runs.
Well, as they say, they've crossed the T's and dotted the I's very, very well today. Well, as they say, they've crossed the T's and dotted the I's.
Over count, 14 runs and over from here. Very difficult task, especially with just one more. Runs to get in 19 deliveries. Still a lot of work to do, and Kashif Daud looks like a man with the plan. He'll have to get a boundary in this delivery. They can get away by just conceding a single or maybe even a double.
Round the wicket, in the air this time, extra cover, it's just over his head, lands in no man's land, and they'll scurry through for 2. So Johannes Smit will not get a wicket to his name this afternoon, but he's bowled exceedingly well for his side.
Well, a rare blip in the fielding from Nambia. The fielder at cover was thinking of backpedaling first, and then by the time he turned around, it was a bit too late. Wiese running in from mid-off, couldn't get to the ball as well. But the end result will be something that Nambia wouldn't mind, just 2 runs coming off that delivery. 44 runs to get in 18 deliveries, 15 runs and over almost. Very, very difficult task now for the UAE. And Nambia will have to lose the plot completely if they're going to lose this game.
Well, I tell you what, Abdurrahman, I've seen it happen. 44 of 18 is not impossible at all. There you can see the Mohammed bin Zayed Road right behind the ground. Access to the ground is very, very easy. You can always pop in for some live cricket at the ICC Academy, or in fact the Dubai International Stadium itself. World-class facilities for some world-class cricketers. 116 for 5 Team UAE. The home side looking to execute a thrilling run chase. That man on screen, Mohammad Usman, 21 of 22. He's in good nick. Recently scored a fantastic 100 in the Emirates D50 tournament. 44 of 18. Abdurrahman, who are you backing?
Well, with that 1 over of Wiese still to come, I think Nambia will fancy their chances.
This time short ball. My goodness, that was an opportunity. Could have been carved over point. Trying to play 1 shot too many, and it's a dot ball.
And with every dot ball, the pressure just keeps on mounting. They need a boundary delivery now. It's just a lot of pressure on Usman and Kashif Daud. And the bowling has been really well. The fielding as well. It just adds all that pressure on you. The fielding as well. It just adds up all that pressure. Kashif, Daud, and the bowling has been really well. The fielding as well, it just adds.
Heavy ball has good pace, banging the ball into the surface. It's climbing on the batters. So they perhaps might need to look at that ramp. You can expect Ruben. But you can expect Ruben to change his length. He's going to pitch it up. Long on and long off have been posted back. But you can expect Ruben to change his length. He's going to pitch it up.
Wide outside off stump, going over the cover fielder, trying to get that boundary. And a very, very good looking catch. That absolutely brilliant from Namibia in the field. And again, just too much pressure now in the UAE.
Kashif Daud, then 2 boundaries to his name. Short and sweet stay at the crease. Now the wickets are falling in a bunch for UAE. And the new batter is the captain himself, Ahmed Raza, striding out to the middle. That strike rate certainly does not do justice to his big hitting ability. He wields that long handle very well and hits the ball a mile. $117 for 6, the UAE. It's been a learning curve, a very steep one this afternoon. Now maybe I've shown why they're on the cusp of qualifying for the World T20. Some extremely crucial fixtures coming up for them in about a fortnight, when they take on Sri Lanka in round 1 of the ICC World T20. But till then, they have to contend with the feisty UAE national team. Short ball this time, outside off. And the umpire has let it go. 1 for the over. More frustration for the UAE. Of course, they did win the toss in the morning, elected to bowl first. I think they would have been fairly satisfied with chasing 160 in these conditions. But the Blue Eagles of Namibia have been absolutely spot on. Slapped over the top of deep mid-wicket. That's going all the way for half a dozen. That's more like it from Mohammad Usman.
Well, important hit that for UAE. They still need 37 runs in 13 deliveries. But that's a big 6 from Usman. He's been at the crease for a long time. Slower delivery. Just in the arc for Usman. Is that the hope that UAE is looking for in this run chase? 37 runs to get in 13 deliveries. Usman 28 of 26.
Absolutely nailed that slower delivery. Picked it right out of the hand of Ruben Trumpelmann and gone all the way. If he can hit 2 or 3 more of those, they'll be in business. Final delivery of his spell then. This time hit towards deep mid-wicket once again. It is the captain, Erasmus, once again. So Trumpelmann has got a 2 for in the over. Mohammad Usman holds out to cow corner.
Big wicket that for Trumpelmann and for Namibia. Again, Usman trying to go towards that mid-wicket boundary, trying to get that 6. But he's only found the fielder, and Trumpelmann has finished that over really well for Namibia. A lot of pressure now in the UAE. 37 to get. Just 12 deliveries. The new batsman Vriitya walks in at 8.
Mohammad Usman, and then 2 sixes to his name. Not a very
Overall, watching the stream, kindly please like the video and please subscribe to our channel.
They're taking on a high-class opponent. They need to up their game. Meanwhile, it's young Vriitya. coming in. 37 required of 2 overs. It will take some doing. The game looks almost out of their reach. Anything can happen. Cricket is a very funny game. But Namibia will need to have an absolute disaster to lose this from here. 123 for 7 UAE after 18 overs. David Wiese continuing here, nicely cut away towards that backward point fielder, and they'll only get a single once again. Outstanding fielding by the Blue Eagles.
Vriitya, not a bad shot to get off the mark. That is what makes us wonder why he didn't open the batting. He would have taken advantage of that hard ball with the power play going on. But that ground fielding again. You've seen that ball go for 4 when UAE was fielding. A couple of times just through the fielders.
Ahmed Raza, the captain, punches it hard down the ground. It can only be a single. David Wiese is very, very experienced. He knows exactly what length to bowl at the death end of an innings. Just pitch the ball up. Don't let the batter get underneath the ball. Nothing in the slot, nothing back of a length. He's been a fantastic addition to this side, given them a lot of self-belief and match-winning ability. This time worked away over the keeper. This time short third man in the circle, giving it an almighty chase, but it's going for 4. Vriitya Arvind has slipped in behind the keeper for 4.
Is it a case of too little too late? Crucial boundary from Vriitya behind the wicket keeper, and we've seen him do this so many times in domestic cricket and for UAE as well. Valiant effort there. Nonetheless, the ball goes for 4.
This time lovely punch through extra cover, and that's going to be back-to-back boundaries for Vriitya Arvind. My goodness, he's striking the ball beautifully.
Well, David Wiese, believe it or not, has gone for 8 runs in 2 deliveries. Vriitya Arvind 9 of 3, 27 needed of 8. UAE is making a fist of this now.
Lovely execution, that bottom hand coming through, beating that extra cover fielder, and once he found that gap, it was always going for 4. This time short ball nicely pulled away towards square leg, only for a single, so David Wiese content to get him off strike. It's always a game within a game. 26 needed of 7. Abdurrahman, what do you think?
Well, for 1, this ball needs to go for 6. With 20 needed of the last over, that still might be an opportunity for the UAE, but if this goes for a single or double, if they lose a wicket now, I'm afraid that's going to be a bit too much.
Full toss hit.
And they're pushing for 2 and they will get it. That's good running. So Ahmed Raza, the captain, couldn't get a boundary, but he did pick up 2 runs. 24 required off the final over. Can Team UAE perform a miracle?
Afraid that's going to be a bit too much.
Full toss.
Looks okay to continue. Maybe he will field, but not what they will need him.
If they lose a wicket now, I'm afraid that's going to be a bit too much.
Full toss.
Then goes straight to the long off fielder. 24 runs to win.
Goes straight to the long off fielder.
Last over, Ahmed.
24 runs to win for the UAE in the last over, Ahmed.
In the context of the
I
game,
feel it's 10 runs too much
runs scored
in the context of the game. The highest runs scored.
And is going to be the man with 4 wickets to his name already. Frylinck to bowl the final over of the innings, the final over of the game. Vriitya Arvind 10 off 4. He's been busy at the crease. 2 boundaries to his name. But it's been a pretty decent fight here from Team UAE. Of course they are playing together as a national side after about 8 or 9 months.
If they lose a wicket now, I'm afraid that's going to be a bit too much.
Full toss.
Frylinck flipped over the keeper this time. Short third man is giving chase.
Flipped over the keeper this time. Short third man is giving chase, but it's going all the way for 4. Vriitya Arvind, can you perform a miracle this afternoon at the ICC Academy?
Well, that's a good start there for the UAE. Premeditated. And very well played by Vriitya, right behind the keeper. You can see that third man fielder was anticipating that, but was unable to stop it.
That first ball is gone for 4, and all the pressure is now on Frylinck.
My goodness, what a battle this is going to be now.
And all the pressure is now on Frylinck.
My goodness, what a battle this is going to be now. Ball within the stumps, and there it is. He's bowled him. That's 5 wickets for Jan Frylinck. What a performance he's given for the Blue Eagles this afternoon. You beauty, brilliant bowling.
You miss, I hit. That was the plan. First time Vriitya got some bat on it. This time, unfortunately, just walked across a bit too much, showing all 3 stumps. And Frylinck keeping his composure, hitting the middle stump. You can see the frustration from Vriitya. He thinks he's missed out on that, but 5 wickets for Frylinck. Absolutely brilliant bowling.
He has been outstanding for the Blue Eagles. Vriitya win 14 of 6, an enterprising innings, 3 boundaries. He will certainly looking to get a promotion in match day 2 of the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. But this man on screen, he has been spectacular with the ball. Look at that, shuffling in his crease and trying to flip that over fine leg, frustration, taking it out on the stumps. But 5 wickets in a T20 game, that is something very, very special.
Yes, do remember this is the T20 international game, so all these stats count. Let's have a look at the new batsman now. Sultan Ahmed, the left-hander, coming in. He's got a strike rate of 103. Unfortunately, they'll need a strike rate of 400 from him if they want to see this game through. Just the 4 deliveries left. Have a look at that. 22 runs given, 3.2 overs, and 5 wickets taken.
Absolutely brilliant stuff.
Absolutely brilliant stuff here from Jan Frylinck. Some healthy banter between him and Sultan. So it looks like it's going to be a job well done by the Blue Eagles. This is the 5th wicket. The big moment. What a moment for him in his career. 5 wickets in a T20I. You don't see that very often, especially from a seam bowler. He's beaten him all ends up, and that should seal victory for Team Namibia.
Extras from Jan Frylinck, they've got the game in